Looks like it. Good morning, good morning. Hello, friends. Happy Sunday. Let's see. How is everyone doing today? A little bit of a late start, but it's cloudy. I don't know. I feel like that's an excuse. A little bit of an excuse to show up a little late, but just 5 minutes. Just gonna take it easy today. Feeling like very fatigued. No, I got more rest last night than I thought I would. So, shouldn't really complain. But just being honest. Good morning. Hey, cool sword. How are you, Ben? We've got to check the tea for Lucy hairs. Ravenfire, good morning. Hello, hello. How are you doing, friends? Good? Oh, good. If there's anything in particular you want to work on today, I'm feeling kind of like, just like fatigued a little bit. So I'll take it easy today. I'm feeling like moving very fast. Like I totally woke up on time today and still still was like, oh, I was supposed to start streaming 5 minutes ago. So can we do neck and shoulders? Always, absolutely. A low-key session is fine with me. Okay, great. Ask and you shall receive. Yeah, I'm just feeling like it's like never cloudy in San Diego, or it's rarely cloudy I should say. So I'm like, oh, I just want to like be cozy, which was my always excuse back in New England. You know. All right, so let's set up our space. Just roll out a mat or just clear out space on your floor. Maybe a towel or a blanket would be good too. Yes, you're right in my spot. And then I just have a folded blanket to sit on just to elevate my hips a little bit. Just get hips higher than my knees. Doesn't have to be a special blanket. It could just be a regular blanket or a pillow or a yoga block if you have one of those. I saw them for sale at Grocery Outlet yesterday. I was like, oh, they're selling yoga blocks at my discount grocery store. I don't know, I just thought that was kind of funny. I couldn't like find any last year when I first started streaming, but I feel like I've made it pretty well without buying anything new. Alright, go lay down. Okay, or hang out. And okay, so what we do here, what we're doing today, is we are going to begin with a seated meditation, really like a grounding practice, some breath work, and then go into movement, yoga poses, lymphatic shaking, some joint resiliency. We'll give a good focus on the neck and shoulders, or give at least some good attention to the neck and shoulders. And then we'll end with a nice long Shavasana final relaxation pose. I'll play crystal singing bowl for you, and it'll all be guided. So no worries if it's your first time here, your first time practicing. You are in great company, and there's really no wrong way of doing this. The idea is just to feel better stepping off the mat than you did stepping on. So don't get too hung up on how it looks. It's really, and I mean this truly, about how it feels. So we'll begin in Sukhasana if this position is available to you. It's just sitting cross-legged. Easy sitting pose sort of translates too, but depending on how long you're sitting, it's not always the easiest, as it were. Okay. Try to keep my voice today. So, sitting upright, like there's a string pulling you up from the crown of your head towards the sky. We'll just stack heart over hips, head over heart. Hands come to rest on the lap, either palms down to ground down, or palms up to give and receive energy if you feel you've got a little extra to give. The eyes can close if that's comfortable. If not, a soft gaze just beyond your nose towards the ground, not looking at anything in particular, also allowing the eyes to rest is appropriate. And we'll begin with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears, and an audible sigh out the mouth, shoulders drop away. And returning to a natural breath's pace. In and out through the nose if that's available. We'll take a moment here to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And just become present to yourself here in this moment. Here in this space. Begin to allow sounds into your awareness. There may be sounds at a distance, passing cars or singing birds. There are sounds from within your home, the buzzing of a light running over your refrigerator. Allowing all sounds in all part of this moment, this experience. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And feel the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. Weight of your hands on your knees. Just get a general sense of how the body feels as a whole. We'll begin to scan the body from head down towards toes, checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity, any restlessness or fidgeting. And just take note to work into those spaces throughout our practice here today. And when the mind wanders, bring it back to the body, scanning down, down. And we'll shift that awareness from the body, Annamaya Kosha, to the energetic and breath level, Pranamaya Kosha. Noticing where you're at in this moment energetically. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to crawl into bed, 10 being so full of energy it's hard to sit still. And shifting the attention to the breath. No need to change it, just observe inhalations, exhalations, and whatever space in between. Noticing where in the body rises and falls with the breath, however subtle it may be. Shifting the awareness to the mind, Manomaya Kosha. Allow thoughts and feelings to arise freely for the next few moments. No need to interact with the thoughts, just observe them as if images projected onto a screen. And notice, what are the quality of the thoughts today? Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they ruminating on the past or attempting to predict the future? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. And bring the attention back down to the breath. So I'm actively expanding the breath. Every inhale sips in a little more air. And every exhale lets something more go. Inhales fill belly like a balloon inflating, expanding. Exhale releases belly button in towards spine, deflating, contracting. Inhale fills belly and ribs expand. Exhale, releases ribs and belly constrict. Inhale, fills belly, ribs, and chest. Air filling all the way up to the collarbones. Exhale, releases chest, ribs, and belly. Following that pattern of belly, ribs, chest, and then the reverse for the exhale. And practice our Dirga Pranayam, our 3-part breath. Still seated up tall in the seat, just notice if your spine has started to round. As we build this relationship with the breath, connection of breath to body, we also practice this discipline in the mind to stay single, pointedly focused for longer and longer periods of time. In the beginning, it might be just a breath or half a breath. But it's all good wherever you're starting today. And the next time you exhale, releasing any effort from the breath, returning to a natural breath space, perhaps affected by that pranayam, that breathing exercise. We'll bring our hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. No space between the fingers and the thumbs pressed into the sternum. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice, your reason for showing up to the mat today. And the invitation is just to set it in the positive and affirmative tense. For example, it might sound something like, I flow through life with ease and grace. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. You're invited to chant along with me. Of course, first a cleansing breath. Allow your hands to release to your lap, chin drops towards chest. And an inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. Left ear rolls towards left shoulder. Just allowing the head to gently roll side to side. Your eyes can even still be closed for this part. And then extend the head rolls through center. Bring it up to neutral and just begin to roll the shoulders forward. Just working into the space between the shoulder blades and the upper back. And roll the shoulders back. Opening the chest. Just gently move from head down towards toes. Inviting movement into the body. Intentional movement. And coming to stillness in the shoulders. We'll come back to the neck real quick. I'll turn to the side to demonstrate as we work on our neck waves, but you can stay facing forward, or facing your screen, I should say. From the shoulders down, we're in stillness. Just the head and neck will move from here. Chin tucks down towards chest. And it's like your nose is reaching towards the ground, forward towards the wall in front, up towards the sky above, and back towards the wall behind you. Then chin tucks back in. So making a circle with my nose to the farthest edges of my range of motion in the cervical spine. Let's follow the neck bones. So keeping the movement slow and smooth. Inviting mobility. New patterns of movement into this part of the body that often does little besides look down and straight ahead. This really helps me undo sitting at a desk all day or looking down at my phone all day. We'll change directions. The chin tucks in towards chest. It's like your chin's reaching towards the sky, forward towards the wall in front, down towards the ground below, and brings it back to that starting position. There's just continuous circles. Really keep them slow and intentional. The idea is to get to the farthest reaches of your flexibility, of your range of motion. And our next cycle, we'll bring it back to center. Just take a deep breath in. Let it go. M9 Easy. Hello, friend. How are you? Both. I missed the joke when you sent it in. So I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Alright. From here, we'll bring index fingers to the jawbone, just below the ear. Bring the fingers maybe an inch away from the face. And we'll work on just sliding the head from side to side. So you can start closer, like an inch or even a centimeter. Mindful that your shoulders are relaxed, so there's a tendency to lift and drop shoulders. And we just want to let them stay relaxed and away from the ears, not doing anything here. Just the head is moving. The other thing that sometimes we'll see people automatically do is to turn the head. We're not turning the head. It's just sliding on one plane. So as we open up these new patterns of movement, as my friend Rome, who taught me this little sequence, says, we alleviate some pressure and tension that we might be holding in the stillness and stiffness of our neck and shoulders. And sometimes, like the stretches that we've already been doing just don't quite do the trick when trying to alleviate some discomfort. So if you're feeling frustrated with this, or it's not quite working out the way you want it to, just know that discomfort of learning something new sometimes is kind of a little bit the price we pay for alleviating a physical discomfort within the body. In yoga, it often works out that way. 3, 2, 1. Okay, release that. We'll just shake the head out. You drop one ear to a shoulder. Okay. Space. We'll release hands onto the knees and press the chest forward, to the right, back, rounding the spine like the letter C, and to the left. Forward, right, back, left, and then just smooth that out, almost like you're inside a barrel, like a wine cask, and you're trying to get your torso to stay in contact with the inside walls of that casket. Yes, that torso move, just learned that also. Yeah, I don't know what, if it has a name or not, but it feels so good. I think it feels so good. So there's not really a wrong way of doing this either. You just want to imagine your ribs, the part of your torso that has your ribs is the part that's moving too. Alright, we'll just let that circle change directions. So it'll go from back to right, forward to left. Oh, I mean, I read it in a book recently. Oh, that's cool. Are you reading a yoga book or a movement book, or is this a fiction, like a novel, and this person just happened to be doing these torso circles? In which case I'm intrigued. So you might feel this is starting to warm up your hips a bit too. Almost like you're stirring a pot of honey. And we'll just let that spiral smaller and smaller until we're seated upright. Arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, right hand releases down, left arm reaches over. Inhale, arms sweep up through center. A book about yoga, yeah. Exhale to the left. They hold their hands together like they're turning a pot. Oh, yeah, well, there we go. I think I may have heard of it that way too. So we're just connecting breath with movement here. Exhales to bend. Inhales to just reset up through center and then over to the other side. So it's really nice to get that length and just lengthen the spine in between these movements. Turning a pot. That's how it was taught to me like forever ago. Stirring a pot of honey. And I was just like, wow, I've never stirred a pot of honey in my life, but the metaphor works. Alright, here we are in center. We'll meet together here. Deep breath in. And then exhale, we'll twist to the right. Left hand lands on right knee, right hand lands on the ground behind you, and we just turn the chest towards the side wall. Back up through center. And exhale to the left. So we're not twisting too hard or anything, we're just waking the body up to this movement, to this direction. Inhales through center and exhales like wringing out a sponge to twist. They say it's one of the exercises that people should learn before they start learning asana, especially if they're not very flexible. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I think you guys, I don't just only do this with you guys. I always have this dynamic, like, movement, stretching, like, sequence part that doesn't, like, super have yoga names because we're not in a position. I just think it just feels better in my body, just always has. Let's release the arms down, let's interlace fingers and just roll the wrists out. I think just dynamic stretching, that's what it's really called, is so important. I'll change direction. So I'm just making like an infinity sign with my wrists. Call it wrist flossing. Any clicks or cracks anywhere in the body, like we're just working through them. No worries, not good or bad. Shake off water. 3, 2, 1. We'll extend the legs out in front. Get our legs up after all of that sitting. Need more light. Oh, Lucy's in our spot. So just spread and scrunch the toes. Oof. Roll out the ankles. Just want to keep chat close. Yeah, I think dynamic stretching, like you're saying, like but like before they even, like, so like days or weeks or years before you even start asana, like the actual poses, you change directions. I could see that. I think like if that's like your life, like if you're like a yogi, like not like in the American sense, but I mean like in the, you're devoting your life to this spiritual practice, then sure. Alright, bend in the knees, feet come nice and wide, but I'm going to just drop the knees side to side, just opening up the hips, waking the hips up. But I would say that I don't think I've ever met somebody who wasn't ready for at least some asana, some practice. I mean, if you're following like that isn't ready for some like held yoga poses, just when it comes to physical ability. I mean, if you're following Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, like the rules of yoga, as like, you know, hundreds of years have said, then like most of us are not ready to practice asana because you'd have to get through all the yamas and niyamas and be living a yogic, righteous life, which like, no, I don't think anybody on Twitch is, you know? Alright, we'll come back to knees and center. I'm just gonna recenter them. I want to keep Lucy a little in frame because she's so cute. Evolve Yourself TV, hello, welcome in, welcome in. I'm great. We're taking it easy today in class. I'm a little tired. I'm not like tired, I'm like fatigued. Like there's a difference, right? Like, not that I didn't sleep well, I just feel like exhausted a little bit. So we'll come to hands and knees. Tabletop pose. Belly drops, hips and chest rise for cow pose. Inhaling here. And exhaling the entire way into cat pose, rounding in the spine, making the letter C with the spine, pressing the ground away. Inhale to cow pose. So my hands are pressing down and back, knees are pressing down and forward, like I'm trying to scrunch my mat together to get a nice grip. Deeper arch in the spine. And exhaling, I press the ground down and forward with my hands, down and back with my knees, like I'm trying to spread my mat apart. And that gets a nice deeper rounding in the spine. And following your breath here, we'll begin to connect breath and movement, allowing the speed of your body to be informed by the length of your breath. Most of this is actually in transition. Most of these poses, cat and cow, are actually spent in the space between the transformation of one and the other. Really, the only time spent in proper cat or proper cow is that moment of hesitation, that spot between the inhale and the exhale, the moment between the exhale and the inhale. And the next time you exhale into your cat pose, stay here and squeeze out all the rest of the air. Completely empty the lungs of air and hold the breath out. We're going to bring tension into the body. So squeezing the face, scrunching the face, scrunch the toes. Just tense all of your muscles. Tight, 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 tight. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and release. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. Nice. Right leg reaches back behind you. And we'll just bring it up to hip height. Roll out the ankle a bit here. Release onto the left forearm. So from wrist to elbow, we just come down flat onto the ground. Bend in the right knee, and we're just going to have a couple hip circles here. Just like I'm drawing a circle with my knee. Feel it begin to warm up that right hip, glute, lower back. And change directions. And then releasing the knee back onto the ground, come up to tabletop. Extend the left leg up and back behind you. Swiss R, hello, hello. Good morning, my friend. Or it's probably evening for you, I feel like. Or late afternoon. We'll release onto the right forearm. From wrist to elbow flat on the ground, just a stable, more stable stand. Bending in the left knee, and we're just drawing circles. Change direction. So once again, any clicking or cracking, we're just smoothing that all out now. I'm gonna release that knee onto the mat, bring the hand back down onto the ground, and let's work on some wrist resiliency today. I was lurking. Well, you're welcome to lurk anytime, of course. So, we're gonna flip the palm under. So we're gonna flip the hand under, so the palm is facing up. My fingertips are facing my knees. Just notice here, you know your body better than anyone else, especially me who can't see you right now. So if you know that this is as much pressure as you can handle, then just do one at a time. If not, flip both hands under. Still, my shoulders are up over my wrists. Fingers are spread wide. Tabletop pose. Okay, so the first step here is to straighten out the arms. You'll know they're straight because the inside, like the eye of your elbow, faces forward. So the bendy part, like the pointy part, is facing back towards my knees. It's almost like a feeling of opening a jar, but obviously the hands aren't moving, just the arms are moving. So how do we get there? If you're here right now, you just work towards straightening the arms. So it's a little back off. So if this is your edge, if this is as far as you can go, just bend the elbows even more and then work back towards that edge. Back and forth, still breathing. Wrist work is pretty intense, so there's like a lot of, I don't want to say motivation to hold the breath, but often that's where it happens. Ethereal, my love, I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, so once you, so if you do have your arms straight and you still got a little space, you can begin to lean back, but just a bit, so slowly. And one day might be different than the other. Wrist work definitely is not straightforward work. Helix. Well, I appreciate you. All right. And okay, so if you just had one hand flipped under, then you want to go ahead and take time to flip the other under. If you're still working on these arm straightenings, then you are in the right place. All right, to undo it, just like pressing rewind, we're just gonna unflip the hands, tuck the toes under, and sit back on the heels. Whew. And just like give your wrists a massage here. Almost like you're washing your hands like very vigorously. So I still haven't done my Twitch commands, but Ethereal is a great streamer and gamer, and she plays Counter-Strike. Which is every time I watch her play, I'm just like looking at the skins on the gun. I'm like, okay. It's because it just happens so fast, but definitely go check her channel out. She's awesome. Evolve Yourself TV is awesome as well. So yeah, got some fun streamer friends online today. Like shaking off water, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands back down onto the mat. Let's step forward with the right foot. We'll take a step forward with the left foot as well. Bring the feet out to the edges of the mat. The toes can come off, the heels stay in, and then bend the knees deep, deep, so deep that you come down into a squat. So we're here in a deep squat, then we'll extend the legs long, let the head be heavy for a forward fold. And we're going between these two movements. No rush, don't get lightheaded or anything from that. Doesn't have to be the deepest squat of your life, doesn't have to be the deepest forward fold of your life. We're just waking up the backs of the legs to this movement. And the next time your legs are extended long for a forward fold, will stay here and the breathing continues. You might heel toe the feet in a bit more to about shoulder height. And we can let the body be heavy here for ragdoll, grabbing opposite elbows, creating a frame for the head. You can give yourself a rock forward and back or side to side. Just allow your upper body to be heavy and elongate the spine, just using weight and gravity. Stopping here in the center, release the hands and roll all the way up to stand. Alright, so we can turn to face one another here. And here bring your hands onto your hips. So it's a grounding position here. See better there? Great. And the right knee bends. So I'm just like on the tiptoes of the right foot. I'm not really putting any weight on it. My toes are still touching the ground. So just calibrate the weight into this left hip. I'm going to bring the knee up. And then fingers interlace below that knee. Using just arm strength, so like a bicep curl, pull the knee in towards the chest. So mindful here, it's very tempting to bring the shoulders up for that, but instead I'm curling the arm in, bringing the knee in. That bottom leg is still straight, allowing a little movement in the foot and ankle just naturally as it calibrates for the balance. Release the thigh parallel to the floor. I'm going to turn to the side just so you go. Okay, here we go. So the left hand comes to the outside of the right knee, and the right arm sweeps behind you. So I'll just turn to the side so you can see the left hand on the right knee and the right arm reaching behind you. So I'm twisting my body. This positioning might actually feel a bit familiar to you as we do it at the end of class, but reclining. Now we have this challenge of balance. So I'm actively reaching back. Allow your eyes to have a drishti, a focal point, somewhere that's not going to move. So maybe the keyboard itself or some spot on the wall. So even as your body moves, your eyes have something to focus on. And we'll bring the hand back to center and float that foot down. Nice. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Hands back onto hips, just a grounding position. You can actually just like feel like the weight coming down. Weight into that right leg as we bend in the left knee. Coming light on the left toes. And just notice if by bending this knee your left hip is dropped down, because that will work against you. So we're working on keeping these obliques engaged. It's your side ab muscles to keep the hips square instead of dropping. Like I'm teaching a belly dance class here, but we're not. So as you're ready, maybe from tiptoes, the knee bends even more, the hip begins to bring that knee up. So using this hip flexor strength to bring the knee in towards the chest as far as it'll go. And then fingers can interlace below the knee. Shoulders stay relaxed. And using that bicep strength, pulling that knee in towards the chest. Like wind relieving pose, but we have this balancing challenge. If you find yourself falling out, resetting, one side might be different than the other. Likely it is, it makes sense that it would be. you just begin again. Begin again and just stay present to whatever shows up for you as you begin again. So whatever frustration or lightheartedness, I always kind of love the people in class, in like IRL class, that would just like laugh hysterically every time they fell out of a pose. And then it would make other people fall over, but they'd be very frustrated about it. You could just see exactly who takes themselves too seriously, or like very seriously, I don't want to say too seriously, and who's just like there to have a good time. And believe me, I have historically been the person taking themselves too seriously in like everything in my life except yoga. I mean, I have done that too, but I think it was the first place where it's just like, oh, I could just laugh if I fall out of this, and I still fallen out of it. Like the end result is the same. I just feel better or worse about myself. So let's release that thigh to parallel to the ground. Right hand lands on the outside of the left knee, and left arm reaches back behind you. So I'm just going to turn. Of course, you don't have to, just so you can see what this looks like from the side. So my hips are still facing forward. My chest is working towards facing the side as I reach back with the left fingertips. And still the breathing is full. So even as we hold a pose, we are still breathing. Bring it back through center, slowly. And release the foot down to the ground. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Yeah, so we're just going to go straight into lymphatic shaking now. So I just want to get back down onto the ground and do more floor work with you. So lymphatic shaking, we're going to bring a shake, a bounce to the whole body. I don't want to spend that much time standing today. And now that we just did that balancing challenge. So we're lifting and dropping the heels quickly and just letting the weight drop down to create a reverberation, a jiggle, if you will, in the body. You can lift and drop the shoulders. Lucy's shaking too, all right. Or you can bring a whole jump to it as well. If you got the energy for that, you go for it. So lymphatic shaking is all about helping drain the lymphatic system, which is dependent on movement for proper function. My biggest challenge with the balance was my dog leaning on me. Oh, I know the feeling. I definitely know the feeling. Added challenge. Four-legged friend cuddling. Right, Lise? I think you're in a good place, though, if that's your biggest challenge. Lucy's like, well, I can do that, too. So we're just building up this little heat in the body for 3, 2, 1. Come to stillness. Just take a moment. Feel that tingling in the fingertips. Okay. Watch out, Luce. We're not gonna yell today. Well, you may yell today. You're totally invited to. But not in class. Let's just bring it back down. Instead of our breath of joy, we'll work on a different breath technique today. Oh, I need that. Sit on the couch. Nope, still need it. Thank you. Goodness, that was a struggle. All right, so let's just walk to the top of the mat. Lucy has arrived on the mat. Seriously, she's like, all right, I'm here. How dare you speak of another creature on stream. Let's inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale, hands down to the ground. Take your left foot and get a big step back. So right foot is forward, ankle and knee in alignment. You release the left knee onto the mat. Point the toes onto your books. Okay, there we go. A little tight. And we're just pressing into the ground nice and strong, so much so that the leg comes to straight. The knee lifts up off the mat. Just got 3 of those. Just getting a little stretch for the front thigh. Let that release down. Arms sweep up overhead. For our low lunge on Jani Asana, alternately, you could use your bent knee as stability on your way up. Deep breath here and out. Another deep breath in. And on the exhale, release the hands to the inside of the right foot. We're going to turn the foot at a 45-degree angle in, so in towards the left, 45 degrees, and then roll into the inside of the left foot. So I just went from a low lunge to a side squat. Your foot might naturally just want to turn towards the ceiling, and that's fine. This works. Feel more stable this way, this works. Either way. So we're reaching now at an angle where your hips are facing. So now I'm reaching towards the long side of the mat. Just light on the fingertips. My palms aren't even touching the ground. I'm just on tented fingertips. Just reaching in this direction. Deep breath in. And out. This is called Skandasana. I'm going to walk my hands back, back, back. The right arm's going to press up against this knee. And then the left arm sweeps open to the sky. So I'm using the pressure of the shoulder or back of the arm against the bent knee as stability to reach the left arm up and open. And I've just got 2 breaths here. If you've got space in your shoulders, get it on frame. So if you've got space in the shoulders, you can turn this right hand in. So I'm turning it towards the sky. Bend the elbow and reach back for a bind. So palm turns up, elbow bends, top hand reaches back. Top hand flips, elbow bends, hand reaches back. Okay, that is really kind of advanced, so don't get hung up on it. If you're here, you're already, this is already super, super advanced. All right, let's give that leg some space. So hand comes down, back to the middle, bend in the left knee just a bit, to come up to a standing wide angle fold. So feet are just really wide, 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 wide. I'm pressing into the pinky side edges of both feet. They're in alignment with one another, so one foot's not forward or back. They're in the same line. Tented fingertips, deep breath in, flat back, and exhale, forward fold. Don't let your head be heavy here. Just giving that right leg space. Pressing into the ground, we'll turn to face the back of the mat. The toes come along with you, so now both of my feet are facing the back mat. Left foot is forward, I bend in the left knee, bringing the knee over the ankle. Release the right knee gently onto the mat and point the toes. So now the shoelace part of my foot's pressing into the ground. Hard, so hard that the leg lifts. So lifting and dropping, or lifting and lowering. I want to say dropping, very intentionally and gently releasing the knee onto the mat and lifting it up. Letting this whole part of the body be stretched out, quadricep, hip flexor. All right, as the knee lowers next time, just mindful of the knees over the ankle, bring it up to Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Chest comes up over hips, arms come up overhead. Alternately, you can use the thigh as stability to get there. Deep breath here. Opening the hips. Another breath in. And exhaling, both hands release the inside of the left foot. So you can tuck the back toes under as we turn the toes towards the long side of the mat. So left toes are at an angle. You might be pressing into the pinky side edge of that foot, or your foot might want to turn up. So one's not more advanced than the other. Like this isn't better than this, and this isn't better than this. It kind of has to do like a lot with your hip actually, and just how it's put together structurally, skeletally. So you just want to listen to what your body's telling you, which one's going to feel easier and better for you. M9 Easy, multitasking yoga. So here we are in Skandasana. So we're in this deep side squat, and we're going to tiptoe the hands forward on tented fingertips at an angle. So like right between the angle, like coming out from the hips. You're gonna let the head be heavy, let the legs be heavy. Just full breath here. And then we walk the hands out and back. Once you hit the left arm with the left leg, you open up the right arm towards the sky at an angle. So I'm using this bottom arm to press into the bent knee as leverage, and the right hand's reaching up towards the sky at an angle. If you've got space, one side's different than the other, right? Especially if you're right-handed or left-handed. Most of us aren't ambidextrous. You can flip the palm towards the sky. So I'm turning towards my thumb. Bend in the elbow, so the shoulders, arms behind me now, and then bend in the top elbow to interlace hands. So it's a pretty deep bind. No worries, I just want to give that option if anyone is working with binds. You can play around here. It's like a really nice upper back stretch. So we're just here for another breath or so. And we'll release the bind, walk the hands forward in front, extend the left leg back to Prasarita Padottanasana, standing wide, angle, fold. Tented fingertips, halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold. Then we'll walk the hands, let's just walk the hands back to the back of the mat. Step the right foot forward, bend in the knees, and come down to seated. Mercurius, hello, welcome to stream. This is the most advanced yoga on Twitch. Yeah, I got a little ahead of myself there, but I did it on one side, so that I was just like realizing that we had to do it on the other side, but I always give lots of options, so everyone's taking it at their own pace, and yeah, I think options are good. Everyone does different things mostly. Yeah, thanks, M9 Easy. Okay, so here we are. I know I said we were gonna do gentle yoga today, and somehow we ended up in like a Skandasana bind, but we're just rolling with it. So here we are in Baddha Konasana, bound ankle pose. Knees are bent, Just making a diamond shape with my legs, like butterfly, like little kids like sit in a butterfly pose. And just using thumbs to massage into my feet. Just like give your hips like a minute to just like come to terms with where they're at right now. Grabbing the feet, ankles, or shins. We'll take a deep breath in to get tall. And exhale, forward fold. So you can just extend the arms forward, almost like in that Skandasana fold earlier. Nice. Hips should feel pretty open here. Or you can grab onto the ankles and press the elbows into the knees to use them as leverage to open the hips even more. We got like a lot of hip opening, so probably for like half of you, that's going to mean great. That means I can press this even deeper, like pressing my hips even deeper, and probably for the other half of you, you're going to be like, okay, like my hips are so done, in which case this variation is just great. Once again, it's not right or wrong, it's just like what's going to feel best for you when class is over. Okay, we're bringing it back up. Even if these are advanced poses, you explain them well and provide alternatives so I can actually follow along. Some others just call out poses so fast. Raven fire. Oh, good. I'm glad that that's working for you. Thank you, Mercurius. All right, we're back up to seated. Yeah, I definitely show you guys a lot of I don't know. Sometimes we just end up in more advanced poses, but like we were saying earlier about the dynamic stretching and how some teachers say that you shouldn't even be allowed to do yoga poses until you have a certain level of flexibility, and like I just don't believe that. Like I just don't. I think that we get to surprise ourselves. You know, we get to try things that are harder than we can do and surprise ourselves and find out that we actually can do it, or try things that are easy and surprise ourselves when we can't do it. And I think that there's like so much value in both of those moments of reflection and discovery. So let's do, I got another shoulder thing for us to play with. So we're going to find a seated position that feels comfortable for you. I'm going to sit in hero's pose, which is just my feet tucked under. If your knees are like absolutely not after all that Skandasana stuff, then you can you can be cross-legged, or sit with your legs out in front, or one leg out, and then when we go to the other side, change legs. So you're kind of have one leg out in this like Janushirashasana type of position, evenly on both sides. Because this part, we just did lots of leg stuff, is more about the upper body, but you're going to need a stable base, if that makes sense. So I don't want your knees suffering here. So left arm reaches up overhead, and the right hand just stays down on the ground by your side. Bend in the elbow and bring the hand to the back of the head. Bend in the elbow and bring the hand to the middle of the spine. So, left hand up to the sky, right hand down. We bend in the elbows and bring them to the center line of the body. From here, you can work your hands down towards one another. Maybe the fingers interlace. Maybe they don't. That's okay. If they don't, we're pressing the hands into the body to help open the elbows out. If you can reach your hands, but your elbow moves in front of your face, move it back, or just let go. It's okay. The grip, the holding on to your own hand is not the goal. The stretch in the shoulder is. Remember, it's about how it feels. It's not about how it looks. So, pressing into the back of the head, or the back of the spine, or pressing into your back. Let's work on opening the elbows. So it's almost like you're pulling the elbows away from one another. Oh, they definitely don't. Yes, so no worries. The goal is not for the hands to touch. It's for you to have some point of leverage. So we talk about leverage a lot. We're using our own body weight or resistance. So my palms are pressing into the body to pull away from one another and back. Pulling back. We're breathing fully here. And then release. A couple little shoulder rolls. All right, arms sweep up overhead. And then exhaling, the left arm sweeps under the right arm. So I'm pointing in opposite directions, like the Scarecrow in Wizard of Oz. Like they went that way. Backs of the hands come together. Left hand comes in towards your nose and then slips in front of the right hand. Slips in front. So try to get palms together. It's okay if your palms don't perfectly come together. That's just the direction of the body. So here you should feel a different stretch on the shoulders, and we're just drawing a circle with the elbows. Reaching it up and to the side. Change that direction. It's called Garudasana arms, eagle arms. And then you can see from pulling the elbows up or pulling the elbows down towards the belly button which stretch feels better for you. We'll hold it in that position for a deep breath. And then releasing. Shoulder shrug. Okay, if you have one leg out and one leg in, go ahead and change the orientation of your legs. Then the right arm sweeps up towards the sky, left hand is fingertips just grazing the ground. Bend in the elbow, hand comes to the back of the head. Bend in the elbow, hand comes to the back. Tiptoe the hands in towards one another. Maybe they grip, maybe they don't. You might be surprised on one side than the other. And mindful that the elbows can still press back and away from one another. So we're actively pressing the hands into the body as leverage to pull the elbows apart. Pulling the elbows apart here. Remember, one side may be different than the other. Likely it is. We don't treat our bodies symmetrically the rest of the day, so in yoga, it is a pretty tall order to ask our bodies to act symmetrically here. Just got one more breath here, really pulling the elbows back and apart. And then releasing the arms. A moment. And inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, right arm releases down under left arm, pointing in opposite directions. Really try to get your elbows to stack or even come past one another. Backs of the hands come together, and now it's the right hand that comes in towards the nose and slips in front of the palm, left palm. So we got this twist in the arm, Garudasana arms, eagle arms, and we'll work into these circles. So one side might feel different than the other. I know I just said that, but I think it bears reminding or repeating. Change directions. I'm just reaching the arms up. Releasing the elbows down. Finding a space along this trajectory that feels good on the shoulders.
Take a deep breath here in stillness. And release the arms. Deep breath in. And let it go. Release the hips onto the mat. And give it a slow roll back. Make sure there's nothing behind you, no cats or water bottles you're gonna land on. Release the feet in close to the hips. Hands come down to graze the sides of the heels. Slight tuck of the hips. Just raise the hips up for bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. Tuck the shoulders under. Maybe interlace the fingers below the body. And pressing the fists into the ground. Really press the hips up towards the sky. Might find that you have a bit more space than usual in the shoulders to make that grip in the hands. Squeezing the glutes for stability, pressing the feet into the ground. Just got one more breath here. Now we'll release the fingers, release the shoulders, gently roll the spine down one vertebra at a time, hips touch down last. Knees come in towards the chest, and we'll gently release them over to the right. Left hip stacks on top of right. Right hand lands on top of left knee, and left arm opens up like the letter T. So we were here earlier in our balancing pose, and now we're just letting gravity and breath do the work. You can even turn the head to look over the extended left arm to complete that spinal twist. Supta Matsyendrasana, supine spinal twist. We're just breathing here. Just let the breath and gravity do the work for you. Sometimes that's the hardest part. We'll bring head back through center. Knees back through center. And knees gently release to the left. Stacking right hip over left hip. Left hand lands on top of right knee. And right arm opens up like the letter T. Might even look over that extended right arm. Or a spinal twist in the other direction. And if you have been joining in for classes, you know, I really love ending class on this pose. I mean, we end in Shavasana, of course, but I really love these supine spinal twists. I try to include them in every class. And I think part of what really works for me is that it like sends a signal to your brain, like, oh, it's almost time for it to be over. It's almost time to lay in Shavasana and final relaxation pose. So at night, when you're trying to fall asleep, you can actually use that same like programming and wiring in the brain to get yourself ready for a long night's rest. Because you don't need to do this on a yoga mat. You could do this in bed, or you could do this, you know, wherever. So yeah, I hope that's helpful to you guys. We'll bring the head back through center. Bring the knees back through center. And then just notice, is there any last wiggle or pose that your body is asking for? Just a little free movement here. And let yourself move through that. Oh, no kisses. We're live. So yeah, no wrong answers here. All class we tell our body what to do. And now we just ask back, is there anything left? Oh my gosh, you have Lucy emojis? Those look just like her.
Is that from your channel? Those emotes? I need to befriend this person so I can have Lucy emotes. Alright, we are in full body weight on my body. Okay. So just moving freely through whatever is gonna make your your practice feel satisfying, like every body part that was asking for your attention got it. And then as you're ready, releasing into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. Legs extended down the length of the mat. Legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open. You're welcome. Bar 44. Yeah, oh my goodness, she's like, we're full cuddle mode, guys. Arms released down by the sides, palms face up to the sky. Well, we'll just do one today. And the eyes can close if that's comfortable to you. If not, a soft gaze to your ceiling is just fine. Alternately, if you know that your lower back doesn't feel so hot laying flat on the ground like this, you can bring your feet out to the edges of the mat, knock the knees together, give a gentle lift to the hips, tuck the hips under, and place the hips back down for broken bridge pose. So broken bridge pose, Shavasana, corpse pose, or seated, of course, are all appropriate options for our next meditation. Pause. Shavasana is all about integration. So we give ourselves some time to integrate all the effort we put into class. Allow ourselves time to rest after that effort. We'll begin with 3 cleansing breaths, just like before. Deep breath in through the nose and an audible sigh through the mouth. Just allow the breath to continue in and out through the nose if that's available. Inviting your exhalations to become deeper and longer than your inhalations. Invite space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy. And the tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. A symbol of chitta vritti, monkey mind. And we just invite that monkey to sit this one out. Space between the eyebrows broadens as all the muscles in the forehead relax. Neck and throat, shoulders melt away. The arms rest heavy. Palms, knuckles, fingers, fingertips.
alive with vibration. Whole hands alive with creative potential. Rest and integrate all that we practice. Upper, middle, and lower back relax. Chest and belly naturally rise and fall with the breath. Hips, thighs rest heavy, supported by the ground below. Knees and lower legs and ankles relax. Feet and toes relax. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Notice if in your mind, if only for a moment, that inner dialogue quieted. Notice if in your breath there's ease. Notice if in your body the places of tension have found space. The places of restlessness have found peace. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. And know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Gently invite your inhalations to deepen as fingers wiggle and toes begin to curl. That feeling of heaviness replaced with a feeling of lightness and expansion as head gently rocks side to side. And awareness lifts to the surface as arms sweep up overhead for a full body stretch. And let your knees bend and roll over to whichever side feels feels natural. Landing in a fetal position. You can use that bottom arm as a pillow. Fully released and fully supported by the ground below you. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for class today. Perhaps take this moment to set one now. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. With eyes still closed or gently lowered, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position. Just like we started class, hands come to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Today we worked on a series of neck and shoulder opening postures. We got really deep into the hips as well. So good work if you stayed along with all of that. The first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to the community that held this space. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who joined me today. I hope you found something that serves you. I hope that your day in one way or another is improved for having spent some time here with us, with me. You're welcome. Evolve Yourself TV, Namaste Swiss, and Mercurius, M9 Easy, Ravenfire, Ethereal, Hey Cool Sword. Wow, what a great group that we had today. I appreciate you all so much. How are you feeling? I remember I'm having flashbacks to earlier in class, and I was like, I'm so tired. Let's just do an easy class. And then it just escalated so quickly, didn't it? Really good energy today in here. Yeah, I feel like what a great group. What a great group of people we got here today. I feel like we always end up with like a pretty great group. So I wouldn't even say it. That's yeah. Let's see. Feeling much better. Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, going off the deep end there with hips, and then I was just like, oh, I said shoulders. So yeah, I got some stuff in at the end there. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm feeling more energized too. A lot more snap, crackle, and pop than usual. Yeah, I can imagine. We definitely did a lot of new, quite a few new movements in here, are ones that we don't do that often. So in class. So yeah, I hope you guys got some new stuff in, and all of that. Who was saying? Was it N9 Easy saying you're watching 3 streams right now? Give me one of those streamers handles, and we can raid into them. Cause I was hoping to raid into Iping Tai Chi, but it doesn't look like she's on right now. But I really love her streams, so I just feel like it's like a good energy to like flow out into. Musa Boot is on. I know Musa Boot and Sets and Reps are on. They're like more like lifter type people, like what are they called, bodybuilder types. They're super nice. So Sets and Reps and I get along really well. However, I don't know. I mean, he definitely passes the vibe check. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely a different energy. I don't know. Maybe that's just what today is. We'll just roll with it. As always, guys, if you guys ever have, thank you, Ethereal, for dropping the tips information. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Thank you. Oh wait, I made this mistake last time. I'm gonna copy and paste because last time I spelt it wrong.
I rated the wrong. Thank you. Yeah, I was just looking for more yoga friends. Yeah, as always, I'm always around to answer questions, of course, after stream, and then also just like in the DMs. So thank you guys. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Oh, on Thursday I'm going to be hosting The Great Kind. She's gonna do. She does like all this like research about like she's like a science researcher or something like that. And I have a lot of fun. And she does like lots of behavioral therapy type stuff on her streams. So she's gonna be. So yeah, we're gonna like dual stream, and she's gonna ask me a bunch of yoga questions, and I'm gonna like lead her through a practice. So that'll be on Thursday morning at the same time. I really like her streams too. Yeah, we're like around the same age and we get along really well. So yeah, so on Thursday I'm gonna be streaming on her channel, which should be really fun. And answering yoga questions and yeah, and I think I'm just doing like a 30-minute class. LOL, you guys know me. Like, have I ever done anything less than like a 90-minute class? But I'll be good. I'll behave. Alright, we're gonna go stream Marcel Gru and do some more yoga stuff. Oh, well, we have time. I don't think we get kicked off yet. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I probably should have mentioned it earlier. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can like host it on my channel so that it pops up that I am streaming. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Alright, much love. Bye, guys.